What's up, guys? Erebus here with some more Dark Souls 3 fun times. So, today we're going to be talking about overleveled phantoms. And, look, I get it. I've been an overleveled phantom before, just to have some fun or whatever else. And there's nothing necessarily inherently wrong with it, but it can get a little bit absurd. So right here, I'm at level 15, and here comes the Soul Stream, which is just unnecessary. And then we're gonna get a Crystal Soul Spear here. Yeah, there it is. So this guy, I put it in the video whatever his level was. I don't remember off the top of my head. But when you can be blasting endgame spells at the beginning of the game, it's a bit much, you know, for the overleveled nature of things. And like I said, I get it. You know, it can be fun to help your buddy or whatever. Yeah, there it is, level 104. So, like, I get it. You know, it's cool to help your buddies and, you know, just have fun with things. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make you a better player just because you're overleveled. So, kind of a meme in the community has always been, you know, that overleveled phantoms are hilarious because they suck at PvP, which it's not necessarily true. I mean, there's plenty of overleveled characters that I've played against, and I'm sure other people have as well, that, you know, they're just fine at PvP, and, you know, they're not like PvE machines only. Now, some of the guys in this video, you'll see, are absolutely PvE machines and don't understand how to PvP, and that's kind of funny. But, you know, at the end of the day, I guess all I really have to say about playing as a significantly overleveled phantom is, thanks for the souls, I guess. Because, I mean, some of the soul amounts you get are just insane as an invader, and you're only getting, I forget the math, I think it's 4% of what it would cost that person to level. So when you're getting like 30, 40, 50,000 souls from killing a phantom, like, it's just funny. It's just funny, and it's enjoyable, and it's a lot of fun. So, at any rate, that's what we're going to be dealing with today. Not a whole lot to say about this first fight. The overleveled guy's already gone. You know, he could shoot a couple spells, but he didn't have too much else going for him. But at this point, I decided to get the evangelist involved. The host with his little pokey pokes was getting on my nerves, so I decided to bring the evangelist. And it's kind of funny because now the host just abandons his phantom to die, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, it was always going to happen, so I guess it was a smart move. So he ran away, but he gets a blue. So now he gets to not have to fight one-on-one. So he's happy with that, I guess. Which is fine, too. But that won't last incredibly long. Right off the bat, he makes a mistake. Very terrible mistake by falling into the evangelist. And, of course, he runs, but the blue charges right in. And this blue has an impressive amount of health for this level. I was incredibly surprised because I typically one-shot people with the Dark Hand Riposte, other than hosts, of course. But you know, as far as phantoms and blues and things like that, so this guy's rocking the pure vigor build, I guess. So here now, I'm finally gonna go after the host, and he jumps off the damn cliff. Like, oh, all right. What an anticlimactic end. Okay, so this clip is honestly a bit, I'd say embarrassing for me, but I'm not really embarrassed about it. Don't really give a shit, but I have a weakness, and my weakness is ultra great swords. And the reason for that is because one of the best, I guess, punishments for an ultra great sword is the unlocked or pivot backstab, which I've not really practiced that at all. I can't do it. So you saw too there, I just parried his running attack, which I think confused him a little bit. But then he just came right in and did it again, which was odd. Didn't get to punish it the second time. Didn't really get to punish it the first time either, since for whatever reason I didn't get the riposte. Thanks, Dark Souls. But yeah, I'm just not great with dealing with great swords, especially not with a straight sword. You know, if I've got a big poise weapon of my own, I'm fine with trading. That doesn't bother me. But the spacing and the positioning for primarily going for backstabs and whatnot kind of irritates me. But you see here, one of the things that I'm experimenting with a lot more is negating hyper armor, getting hits in there since I have a straight sword before the hyper armor activates. So I'm kind of playing around with this guy a little bit and seeing when I can safely R1 and get out and when I can't. Because as a not, significantly talented, I guess, PvP player, I'm still learning most of this stuff. I'm very average when it comes to PvP. And one of the only reasons that I win this fight, and even the one before it too, is because of how much Estus I've got. I went and played through the game and capped my level at 15. So I earned that Estus. It's not like it was given to me, but at the same time, it does take away some of the disadvantages that invaders naturally have. At this point, I've probably got more Estus than the host does, at the beginning of an invasion at least. So, but I find, and here you see me try to go for that unlocked backstab and just completely fail, because it's, again, just not something I can really do. But, yeah, at any rate, I mean, invasions, they are what they are. The invader is clearly at a disadvantage, even if it's versus a solo host, let alone if they have friends. So, my personal take on it is whatever you can do to slightly even out the odds, and more importantly, have fun with it, the better. So, I've got a lot of Estus, but I earned it, and it gives me a little bit of an edge. And I'll be perfectly honest about that. I need that edge because I'm not a pro PvP player. If I were to go up against actual PvPers who, spend a lot of time with stats and knowing the windows of attack animations and, all that kind of stuff, I would get completely destroyed. And I have no qualms or embarrassment in saying that. I'm at best a very average player, and that's fine. But at any rate, you can tell this guy's starting to get really tired of me because we've been going at it for a long time now, and he's really just had enough. Luckily for me, so have I. So, take down this cat, and level 113 approximately. Just so you know, with the approximations here, what I'm doing is taking the number of souls that I got, multiplying it by, or rather dividing it by 4% to get the larger number, and then checking a level evaluation table to see how many, or what level requires that many souls, and rounding because it's not exact, either because the math isn't quite perfect or something else is a bit wonky. It's possible the numbers I'm referencing aren't right, but that's the gist of it. Now this battle is even worse than the last one, to be honest. So a fair amount of it's going to be fast forwarded. Mr. Overleveled comes out here, and it's not that either of these players are bad. What it is this becomes a battle of wills, as much as a battle of skill. Because you'll see what they keep doing here is trying to split. So one of them will go retreat towards the back, the other towards the right there. And the reason they're doing that is so that I'll focus on one, and the other one can either, if it's the Phantom, he can run in from the side and try to combo me with his bleed weapons here, or so that the host can start chucking fire at me. And that's not necessarily a bad tactic. It just gets kind of frustrating. Because the second they come out at all, here you see them run right back and resume the positioning, more or less. So this goes on for a fair amount of time because I realized in this moment that what they were trying to do, specifically, that they want to split me up, or split my attention rather, and use the camera to my disadvantage, and I didn't want to play that game. So I was trying to drag them into this hallway so that I could have them both in front of me, because I'm not afraid to trade with both these folks at once if they're both R1ing at me. But what I don't want is to get surprised, backstabbed, or suddenly have a ton of fire coming into my face from out of nowhere. So it's really a battle of wills here. They keep retreating back to here and trying to set back up. I keep retreating to the hallway, trying to drag them out. And goes on for a while like that. Because I have a lot of Estus, and I didn't actually count the Phantom's Estus use. I think actually I'm going to go back and do that after the commentary. So I'll put a nice little message right here to let you know. But he very clearly has highly upgraded Estus because it refills his entire health bar every time he takes a drink. And he has a lot of them. So that gets difficult. That's primarily what causes this to be so dragged out, is because even if I get them into my little hallway over here for a moment, this guy will back down and he will heal, and he has a lot of heals. So it creates a lot of artificial length to the invasion. And you'll see too, I tried to hit him with a couple undead hunter charms, but his absorption is also relatively good, and I can't just wail on him too much with and ignore the host. So he gets a lot of opportunities to heal, and I'm not doing a ton of damage in the meantime. I'm using a raw Lothric Knight Sword, I believe, the straight sword, +2. So not doing a ton of damage, but plenty for most people, honestly. But now he's either out of Estus, or I just didn't give him the opportunity to use it. So get rid of him. And now I'm just taunting the host a little bit here. Level 240 on that Phantom. Seems a bit excessive to me to be in the Undead Settlement, but to each their own, like I said at the beginning. So what I'm doing now is just kind of taunting the host a little bit, staying just out of range, mainly because I wanted my Estus, because I didn't want to get R1 spammed and die after killing the Phantom. At this point, I either want to kill this person or force them into the boss fog, because I find boss fog escapes funny more than frustrating. But I ended up getting him as he was hopping around. So, yay! It was a pleasant ending on that one. So here we have another example of not even needing to see the little blue symbol or the souls go up to know that somebody is significantly overleveled. Right off the bat, as we get over here. Look at this Sunbro, full Ring Knight, and just ready to go. So I know this guy is definitely overleveled. I also know, however, that he's probably decent at the game with the Ring Knight set, because it means he needs to have played the DLC, unless he just had somebody drop it for him, which of course is possible. But coming in with just all the R1s, and right off the bat this host is turtling, so I want to punish that. That's one of the best things about having a straight sword at this low level. Now here you'll see me jump into my inventory because that animation and damage was not what I was expecting. Mainly the animation was wonky on that riposte, so I want to check and make sure that I've got the Hornet Ring equipped. Which at first they don't give me the opportunity to do, but you'll see me do that shortly, as soon as I create enough space that I can get in there and check. So yeah, here I go. So I wanted to make sure I had the Hornet Ring. I do. Phantom makes the same mistake as the host, walking up to me turtling after he just watched what I did to the host, and unfortunately that's all he gets. And look at that. So I think to an extent, when you're that high level, your damage output is only nerfed so much, and same with absorption. I mean, you do get downscaled. That's what that symbol means, but it's not a true downscaling, I guess, quote unquote. You see me trying to parry this guy a lot too. Parry King confirmed. But, you know, that's where a lot of the frustration and memery, I think, comes in from the rest of the community as far as overleveled Phantoms are concerned. Because here's a player who just watched me guard break and wreck the host, who has more health than he does, and he's going to do the same exact thing. So it's just not a PvP mindset, because in PvP, when you do it with any degree of frequency, you know that you have to change up tactics, and you have to not be predictable, and if you see something like that somebody's parrying a lot or whatever, you need to keep that in mind for whatever you're doing. You know, it's partially a battle of it's a mental battle, just as much as it is a fight. I don't know what this guy was doing hiding over there. I think he just wanted to get the item before he died. But put an end to him real quick once he was by himself, of course, which is usually the case. So one other comment as well, since I was in my menu in the last clip and noticed it. I had mentioned at the beginning that, you know, I have quote-unquote twinked Estus. I do have late-game rings as well, so didn't want to try to hide that information or anything like that. I do have some excellent rings, Prisoner's Chain, Hornet Ring, so on and so forth. And it's really for the same reason that I have as much Estus as I do. You know, I went through the game at level 15 and obtained those things normally. And even if I hadn't, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because I played the game so many damn times and gotten those exact items so many damn times. It's really not a big deal either way. But point being, I do have advantages. You know, I am not a regular invader in these sections, nor in most of my content. I'm not a regular invader. I'm often going to have better Estus at low levels and better rings. So it's just part of me trying to balance the game's natural handicaps that are given to invasions. But in with this Ornstein cat, he really wanted to parry, so I thought it'd be funny to throw a bomb in his face. And luckily for me, it worked out. And he actually went for the parry there, because I think one time earlier in the video, I was going to try to do that, and he slapped me. But look at him run! He's not so tough now. And here come the panic rolls. It's a lot of fun. By Ornstein. You're not the real Ornstein, anyway. All the way up at level 355, that cat. Although I will say his combination of sword and cestus attacks were actually pretty interesting and pretty cool to see. So not too much hate for that guy. This guy, on the other hand, was irritating me a lot because he wouldn't actually really do anything for most of the battle except for throw fireballs and shit when I was paying attention to the Phantom. So he was bugging me a tad, and that's why I'm chasing him down pretty hard. I don't want him to think at any point of this fight that he has a chance, because he doesn't. And then give him the waggle, just to tease him a little bit. I like the waggle better than the point down generally. Anyway, thanks guys. That's it for today.